What if your spare change held a secret fortune? From rare errors to historic legends, these for ultra-rare UK coins are worth hundreds, thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, you might be holding a six-figure treasure in your pocket right now. Would you believe that a single, ordinary-looking coin from 1983 could make you richer by $58,000, $83,000, or even $110,000? That's right, one tiny piece of metal sitting in your drawer might be worth more than a luxury car or a year's salary. History of the 1983 £1 coin. Let's rewind to 1983, a year of innovation and change in British currency. That year marked the introduction of the very first £1 coin to replace the old £1 banknote. It featured the beloved Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Arnold Machin, and on the reverse, a bold and striking image of the royal coat of arms, created by Eric Sewell. At the time, it was simply a functional piece of money. But little did anyone know, a few rare versions of this very coin would become worth a small fortune over the decades. The era that made history. So, what makes some 1983 £1 coins incredibly valuable? 2 words: minting error. Only a tiny number of coins, we're talking possibly a few dozen, were struck with incorrect or mismatched designs, creating what numismatists, that's coin experts, call error coins. The most famous error is the 1983 £1 coin with the wrong edge inscription. Normally, 1983 £1 coins should have the inscription Decus et tutamen, Latin for an ornament and a safeguard, a phrase traditionally used on British coin edges. But on this ultra-rare error coin, the inscription reads, Nemo me impune lacessit, the edge lettering meant for the 1984 Scottish £1 coin. This dramatic mix-up means a coin from 1983 is carrying 1984's inscription. A blunder at the Royal Mint? Perhaps. But it created one of the most sought-after coins in British numismatic history. How rare is it really? In the coin world, rarity is everything. Millions of standard 1983 £1 coins were minted, over 443 million, to be exact. But error coins? We're talking fewer than 100 ever discovered, possibly even fewer. Collectors have searched for years to get their hands on one of these misstruck gems. And because of their extreme rarity, they've become legendary among coin collectors. There's even a mystery around how many truly exist, since the Royal Mint never officially confirmed the number of errors. That adds a layer of intrigue and fuels the frenzy every time one hits the market. How to identify this coin? You don't need to be an expert to check your coins, just grab a magnifying glass and look for these details. Heavy check mark hash obverse, heads Queen Elizabeth II with the 1983 date. Heavy check mark hash reverse, tails Royal Arms design. Heavy check mark hash edge inscription, if it says Nemo me impune lacessit, bingo. That's the rare one. Bonus tip, make sure it's not a counterfeit, due to the value, fakes do exist. Weight, 9.5 g, dimensions, 22.5 mm, and metal composition, nickel brass, should match the original specs. The value, up to $110,000. So let's talk money, serious money. Money with wings. In recent years, authenticated error versions of the 1983 £1 coin have sold at auctions for jaw-dropping prices. $58,000 in a private sale in 2021. A known example listed online in 2023 at $83,000. And collectors speculate that a flawless, graded example could fetch upwards of $110,000 in the right market. That's more than a brand new Tesla, more than a down payment on a house, for one little coin. Why such high prices? It's all about rarity, historical value, and collector demand. And with the death of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, coins from her reign, especially rare ones, have skyrocketed in desirability. Where to look? You might already own one. These coins have been found in old coin jars, inherited collections, second-hand market stalls, car boot sales, and even in loose change during the 90s and early 2000s. So don't wait, check every 1983 £1 coin you can find. Examine the edge carefully, and if you spot the wrong inscription, you could be holding a gold mine in disguise. Ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back Today, we're diving deep into one of the rarest and most mysterious coins in UK numismatic history, the 1975 Elizabeth II 2 pence era coin. This is not just any penny. This coin is legendary, elusive, and worth its weight in gold literally. So grab your change jars and stay locked until the end. You won't want to miss this treasure hunting story. The backstory, decimalization and the birth of the new pence. To understand why the 1975 2 pence era coin is so valuable, we have to go back a bit, specifically to February 15, 1971, known in British history as Decimal Day. This was the day when Britain transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the simpler decimal currency. With this massive change came a whole new set of coins, including the now famous 2p, 2 pence, coin. From 1971 to 1981, the reverse of the 2p coin featured the words new pence to indicate this updated currency system. But something strange happened in the mid-1970s, a time when not all coins were struck for general circulation, especially in certain years like 1975. And that's where the legend begins. The mystery of the 1975 2 pence coin. Officially, no 2p coins were released into circulation in 1975. According to the Royal Mint records, the only 2p coins produced that year were intended for proof sets, test strikes, or collector's editions. Yet, a small number of 1975 2 pence coins have somehow found their way into the public. How? That's still a mystery. Some believe they were part of trial strikes accidentally released. Others think they may have been struck by mistake during a minting test and slipped through the cracks. The coin's rarity lies not just in its date 1975, but in the continued use of the inscription new pence, which was meant to be phased out starting in 1982. Most coins from 1975 shouldn't even exist outside of sets, and definitely not in public hands. That makes these rare coins essentially phantoms, officially unacknowledged, yet undeniably real. What makes this coin worth up to $120,000? You're probably wondering, how can a tiny copper coin be worth so much? Well, here are the key reasons why a 1975 2 pence coin could command between $58,000 and $120,000 at auction. 1. Extreme rarity. There may be fewer than 10 known examples of this coin in the world. Scarcity drives demand. When collectors know there are only a handful of these coins in existence, the price skyrockets. 2. Historical error. Errors, especially ones that escape official documentation, are prized in the coin world. The 1975 2 pence is an off-the-books anomaly, making it one of the rarest UK decimal coins ever minted. 3. Excellent condition. Most known examples are found in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition, making them even more valuable. The better the grade, the higher the price. 4. Auction frenzy. Coins of similar rarity have already made waves. Some 1971 to 1981 new pence letters have sold for over $25,000 to $35,000, and rare coins with unique minting errors have fetched over $100,000 at premier auctions. Experts estimate the 1975 2 pence could break records, with estimates ranging from $58,000 to $83,000, and one could even touch $120,000 if two high-end collectors go head-to-head. How to spot a genuine 1975 2 pence era coin. So, how do you know if you're sitting on a gold mine? Here's what to look for. Obverse, front features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin, used from 1968 to 1984. Reverse, back shows the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, and the words new pence at the top. Date, 1975 clearly inscribed below. Weight, roughly 7.12 grams, made of bronze, 95.5% copper, 3% tin, 1.5% zinc. Where can you sell or value one of these coins? If you believe you have one of these ultra-rare era coins, do not rush to sell it on eBay or a local marketplace. Instead, follow these steps. Get it professionally graded. Services like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, can confirm authenticity and assign a grade. Contact a coin auction house. Major players like Heritage Auctions, Spink, or Dix Noonan Webb have handled high-value UK coins before. Consult a numismatic expert. Forums like Coin Community, Numista, or local British Numismatic Society chapters can help guide you. Historical backdrop: the war penny. The year is 1916, and Britain is deep in the trenches of World War I. Despite the chaos across Europe, life and commerce must go on. As soldiers fight for king and country, the Royal Mint continues its job back home, producing coins for circulation across the British Empire. Among these was the humble one-penny coin, featuring King George V on the obverse and the seated figure of Britannia on the reverse. Millions of pennies were struck in 1916, primarily for circulation in Britain, but also for colonial regions like Australia, India, and South Africa. However, something strange happened at the mint that year. The error that turned a penny into a fortune. So what's the big deal? Experts believe that in 1916, a mismatched die or a foreign blank planchet was accidentally used at the mint, resulting in a batch of error coins with anomalies in the design, metal, or alignment. Here are just some of the confirmed or rumored errors tied to the 1916 penny. Struck on the wrong metal, e.g., bronze versus copper, or even on an Indian or Australian planchet. Double strikes, misaligned dies or off-center strikes, die cracks or filled letters, foreign mint mark confusion, e.g., a penny struck in Calcutta or Bombay with incorrect markings. Value breakdown. How much is a 1916 error penny worth? Now let's talk about the money, because this is where it gets jaw-dropping. Depending on the type and severity of the error, and the coin's condition, a 1916 error penny can fetch $80,000 for authenticated and verified error coins with modest wear. $98,000 for well-preserved, uncirculated examples with dramatic errors. And in museum-quality condition or with a unique backstory or provenance, prices have been estimated up to $140,000, yes, for a single penny. Even less dramatic versions of this coin with minor errors have sold at auctions for $5,000 to $10,000, proving that this isn't just hype. It's real market value driven by rarity and demand, decimalization and the era of the modern penny. To understand why the 1988 one-penny error is so valuable, we have to rewind back to 1971, when Britain went fully decimal. The old system of shillings and pence was scrapped in favour of a simpler format, 100 pence in £1. From that moment on, the one-penny coin, or 1p, became one of the most commonly minted coins in the country. Millions, no, billions, were struck over the years. But in that mountain of copper lies a hidden gem. The rare 1988 one-penny error coin. What's so special? Now, here's where the story gets fascinating. In 1988, the Royal Mint struck regular 1p coins with the usual reverse design, the crown portcullis with chains, which is the badge of the Palace of Westminster. However, a few coins escaped the mint with the wrong design. Instead of the portcullis, these coins were mistakenly struck with the reverse of the 1989 commemorative penny, or other known obverse reverse mismatches. Some experts believe these may have been test coins, pattern pieces, or even part of a rare minting error where dies were swapped unintentionally. And because of their extreme rarity, any confirmed 1988 error penny can fetch insane prices, from $74,000 all the way up to $138,000, depending on the condition and exact nature of the mistake. How much is it worth? Realistic valuations of this phantom penny. Let's get to the numbers because this is what really grabs people's attention. A confirmed, graded, and authenticated 1988 error 1p coin has the potential to fetch $74,000 to $91,000 at private auctions or through elite coin dealers. If the coin is in mint state or proof-like condition, with a documented mismatch die or reverse type, collectors have estimated values as high as $138,000. Even lower grade or partially worn examples could be worth tens of thousands, due to how few exist. Why so much? Simple, rarity plus demand plus historical anomaly equals explosive value. This coin doesn't just appeal to UK collectors. Global error coin enthusiasts, museum curators, and high-end investors are constantly on the lookout for anomalies like this. How to spot the rare 1988 one-penny error? Let's talk ID. If you're hoping to find one of these coins, here are the key things to look out for. White heavy check mark 1. Date: 1988. The year must clearly show 1988 on the obverse. Below Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. White heavy check mark 2. Portrait: Queen Elizabeth II. The obverse features Her Majesty's third portrait, designed by Raphael Makhlouf, used from 1985 to 1997. White heavy check mark 3. Incorrect reverse design. Instead of the standard portcullis, the coin may feature a 1989 style commemorative design, a mismatched reverse from another denomination, or features that appear off-centered, doubled, or misaligned. 4. Weight and metal. Normal 1988 1p coins are struck in bronze and weigh about 3.56 g. Some errors may be on the wrong planchette, metal blank, so any weight differences could also be a clue. If your coin matches these clues, do not sell it casually, get it authenticated ASAP. Hammer and wrench hash authentication and valuation, don't go it alone. If you suspect you found a 1988 era penny, here's what to do next. Photograph both sides clearly, use high-resolution images for verification. Avoid cleaning the coin, even minor cleaning can reduce its value drastically. Send it to a grading service, consider NGC, PCGS, or the Royal Numismatic Society. Speak to a specialist, reach out to a reputable UK or international numismatic expert. List with an auction house if real. Places like Heritage Auctions, Spink, or DNW are your best bets for serious collectors. Why this coin is so desirable. The 1988 Elizabeth II penny stands out not just for what it is but for what it isn't. It's a phantom coin, a mistake that was never meant to happen, never meant to circulate, never meant to exist. These types of coins represent a perfect storm of human error, mechanical failure, and historical timing. They're more than money, they're relics of chance. And that's why collectors are willing to pay tens or even hundreds of thousands to own one.